Good day, long time no talk. It has been quite a while since my last update video. I believe that was my little bit after 3 month video, and it was really long if I'm not mistaken, so I'm going to try and keep this one a little bit short and sweet compared to that one because I think it ended up being 2 videos long because I couldn't fit it all when I tried to upload it. So we're going to try and avoid that this time. This time around, I will just kind of be talking about general updates on things that have been going on with my transition and life in general in regards to that. And yeah, so pretty much one thing that I've definitely noticed is my voice is dropping. Thank God. It was taking forever. I feel like whenever I would watch other people's videos, it was just like at the beginning it was kind of slow, and then you definitely started to notice it after like a month and a half, 2 month mark, and it was like, whoa, their voice definitely changed. And mine was just like, no, not really. You could like slightly notice, but other than that, like people who saw me every day, they would have no idea. I had no idea until I would compare videos, and then even even then, I was just kind of like, maybe it's changing. So now there's a definite change. I also can't really sing at all. I can sing one certain octave, and the rest is like, and horrible, and you don't want to listen to that. I was actually, the one day I was doing dishes at home, and I thought I was by myself, so I was like testing out my range and just kind of practicing stuff, and switching songs and all over the place. And then I realized somebody was home. I was like, oh my gosh, I hope they didn't hear me. I was like really hoping that they were in their room with their headphones in and had not heard the horrendous dying bird that was my voice. So there's that. Also, aside from that, I've started to notice I'm getting more. I think I mentioned it. I had like 2 chest hairs. This was my exciting epiphany moment last time. So I have a few more. They're still not really visible and really thin, so we're not even going to try and look at those. And then my treasure trail thing, happy trail, whatever you want to call it, is just kind of pretty much the same. I have noticed, like, since I started when I came to school, right after that, I had started doing my shots every week on Mondays, except I would do half the dose to try and level out my emotions because they were just crazy. I would hit like 1 week in and just plummet into this like, I'm raging at people, and like most of the time I would just like hold it in, but my poor parents, they just got the brunt of most of it. Even like if I was talking with them on the phone, I just didn't want to talk with them, and I was just so annoyed all the time. So I was like, okay, even this out. And it definitely did get better, thank God, because with all my schoolwork, I've been up so late multiple nights, and some days I'd go to school. Like I was at school an entire night, and then I had class at 8, so I went to class. I hadn't eaten all day, and my classes ended at 5. So you can imagine my ability to be like was not so much there. I was irritable, but for the most part I was able to just kind of keep it inside and just wait till I got home and then just go to sleep, because yeah, I don't really want to inflict that on anybody, nor would I want them to inflict that on me. So that's definitely a good thing. Following that, wow, I say a lot. I'm gonna try and work on that. Following that, I have noticed that my dysphoria has gotten not necessarily better, but actually a little bit worse. Just due to the in-between that I feel like I'm stuck in. It's very confusing for me, as well as I think for other people also. Because at the moment, my voice obviously is starting to change, but it's still not where it's going to be. As well, my looks aren't particularly obviously male yet, which I can only hope will keep changing, and maybe I will start growing a beard. I shaved yesterday, but I have like facial hair. I could grow a beard on my neck. Just my neck. I'll just have like this sleeve there. Could be fun. Winter's coming. It could be like a permanent neck tube. What do you think? Yeah. No shave November, guys. That'll be fun. No, I don't think I'm gonna do that this year. I think that would just be horrendous and gross. Like, nobody wants me to have some weird neck beard. So, I don't know. Bathroom issues is one thing that I do want to talk about. I believe I did kind of talk about it in a video briefly a little while ago. I don't know if I was talking about the poor lady that I scared the bejeebers out of in the bathroom because she walked out of the stall and saw me and it was just like, and I'm like, huh? She's just like, oh, never mind. And just left the washroom. And I know she was just terrified because she thought she was in the wrong bathroom. And then she apologized and she forgot to wash her hands. Gross. I hate germs to begin with. That was just like, oh, and the whole time I was walking down the hall, I'm like, she should have washed her hands. Why didn't... Yeah. Nothing. Like, I don't care. Wash your hands. Yeah. Also, there is the issue with still not passing, because I don't. The voice thing I think definitely helps, but people in my class, I know most people in general still perceive me as female, mostly just like a really butch female who they probably think is a lesbian, and it's hard. It definitely, some days, like, I can sort of brush it off when people misgender me, although a lot of the time when it happens, it's just kind of like, and you feel it. I went home for Thanksgiving, which was great. I got to see my family and my brother briefly a little bit. He was there for the dinner bit, and then we were supposed to hang out, but it didn't actually happen. He works night shifts, and then, yeah, you can imagine it would be a little difficult during the day to try and find some time to hang out. So my cousin came over with her parents, and we had dinner, and it was great. And they kind of messed up a couple times, but they did pretty well, and I know they felt bad about it when they did. She totally just, like, swore in front of my parents. It was great. Yes, I know you're gonna watch this video, because you've told me that you watch all these videos. So, yeah. Cousin, you know who you are. I'm talking about you on my YouTube videos. Anyway, no, but I had a great time. So, like, in that case, I don't see them that often, and I can understand how it's a little bit difficult. So, yeah. But just in general, everyday kind of stuff, it's hard because you're, like, one day maybe you're feeling really masculine and, like, you're gonna pass, and then it's like, oh, miss, can you, or, like, I don't know, like, just, I can't really use an example. I don't work anymore. But if I was working, they'd be like, oh, miss, can I have a hand with something? Like, this would happen still. And my roommates occasionally mess up too. And I know it's not on purpose. Sometimes it's just when they're, like, generalizing the whole household or that kind of a thing. Or they'll be like, oh, you ladies have a good night. And I'm like, Although the other day, they knew they messed up, and two of them just burst out laughing because, like, they looked at each other after it happened, and I had just kind of carried on with the conversation I was having with somebody else. And I was like, what is wrong with you guys? And they're like, Elise messed up, and we've been doing so well. And so, yeah, I had a kind of a good chuckle about that. Right. So that's what the dysphoria thing is going on. Because, like, you want to pass, and then when you don't, you're like, wow, do I ever pass to anybody? Am I perceived as what exactly? Like, especially by friends, right? Like, friends, if they mess up, you're like, okay. So, pretty much every time they talk about me or talk to me, they are essentially putting in a very good effort into calling me male, which means that I really don't pass and they perceive me as female. And, like, you think about that and it's like, wow, okay, so you really just, like, where am I at? And on the weekend, I went to get a new phone because my phone was just failing life. So I went to get a new phone, and the whole time I was there, I'm pretty sure I was passing, which was great. And then at the end, they asked to see my ID, and I realized that my name on my phone account had not changed yet. So I was like, oh, I changed my name. And they're like, oh, well, who is this? Because my mom was on my account too. And they're like, who's this Joyce? And I'm like, oh, that's my mom. And they're like, well, then who's this Miss Blank? And I'm like, that's me. And luckily I had a picture of my old ID on my phone that they could compare with my new ID. And they're like, oh, so you're a girl. And obviously I paused and was like, yeah. Because, obviously I didn't want to be like, yeah, I'm a girl. But you can't just sit there pondering whether you are or you aren't, because they'll be like, what the heck? But I didn't want to, explain to these random people about myself. So in that case, I was just like, yes. Yeah, that was hard. Why in anybody's life, you shouldn't have to explain yourself. You should be just like, oh no, there's a mistake. Or I'm trans. And then you shouldn't have to explain any further than that. But in this day and age, that's not the case. So, yeah. On to a positive note, though. Shark Week has ended. Forever. Yes. I'm so excited. I see my roommates dying now, and I'm like, I feel so bad for you. Hey, you can have my super high-powered anti-inflammatories because I don't need them anymore. And they're like... And I'm like... Anyways, so I kind of have a good chuckle out of that. But I still like my chocolate. Although some days, honestly, I'm just like waiting for it to happen because I'm like, maybe it's just really, really late and it's not gone yet. And yeah, it worries me a bit because you're like, oh, is it gonna just randomly appear one day while I'm in class or something? And I will be so underprepared, which usually I'm not, but yeah, I'm just hoping that it's gone forever. It has been over a month now since Shark Week was here. So I'm gonna go with it's gone. And yeah, I can't express how amazing it is. Because I would die. I just died. Like the one day at work this past summer, I was writhing around on the floor of the bathroom, which is disgusting. Like, I couldn't stand. I thought I was gonna have to call my mom and be like, you need to pick me up. I'm dying. Like, it was so bad that I ended up puking and I almost passed out. So, yeah. Never again will I have to endure this pain. But I will understand it when I am eventually, at some point, hopefully in a relationship with somebody. So I'll be able to sympathize with them, which is a good thing. That's probably the only thing I get out of that whole horrifying experience that was grade 7 to now. And yeah,